Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome for the first time. My name is Heather. I'm so glad that you are here. I want to talk a little bit today about angels. Some of you connect with angels really profoundly, really deeply. I do as well. And there is a channeling that they wanted to share this morning, got me up at 333, who also wakes up to angel numbers on occasion. But I want to talk about a different collection of numbers, I guess, that were important for me as part of my journey and my introduction to working with angels in the way that I do now as a medium, a channeler, through my art as well. And speaking of art, I have some angel themed art that I want to share at the end of the video. And I'm excited because usually when I'm sharing art with you, it's some of my digital work that I share on the screen. This is physical art that I can hold up in front of the camera. And I don't know why that feels exciting to me, but it does. So I hope you'll stick around for that at the end of the video. And the channeling will come up really, really shortly. But to tee up my story, I was living in an apartment at a time where my prior apartment had been robbed. I had had a few car accidents. I was being sued for one of my car accidents. I had a bunch of things being a little bit bumpy and unpleasant, generally speaking, in my life at the time. And I was in my early 20s. So had not really been adulting for very long. And I felt like a little bit overwhelmed, I guess. And had at the time an answering machine that would do two things. It would blink a light when you had a message, and it would show you the number of messages you had. I don't know why it did both those things. I guess if you had one, it might not get your attention, but if the number said 10, you'd be like, oh, I should probably check my messages. So I got home from work one day and the light was blinking to say I had a message, but the number of messages said 0. So right away I thought, how does that even work? Did somebody hang up and they didn't leave something or whatever? So I went over to the machine and I, at that time, you had to call the number. So the machine didn't hold the message. I don't know how that worked, but it just told you what you had. I guess it was embedded into the phone. And so I called my voicemail number, and the message that I heard wasn't, hey, Heather, it's whoever, you want to go get coffee or anything like that. It was this really gravelly, kind of scary, like horror movie sounding voice. And I am not someone who likes scary stuff at all. And I already had all the scary stuff going on in my life, so I didn't need this. But it was this man's voice that sounded almost whispered and garbled. And it just said, help me, over and over. And I thought, okay, this is really, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's scary. I lived by myself. I didn't have anybody I could be like, did you hear that too? And at the time you could, I guess you still can, you could star 69 here in the States to get the number that had called you. So I did that and I called that number back. And after I got my composure a little bit with what seemed really scary, I thought, if this is really like a person who needs help, I want them to know they don't know me. Maybe they meant to call a family member or a friend. So I want to call them back and just say, hey, your message didn't go to the right person. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I thought. That's why I was motivated to call back. It wasn't like, get off my phone, you scared me. So I called the number back thinking I would say, oh, hi, I hope you're okay, but you need to call 911 or you need to call a friend. And instead of a normal outgoing message, hey, leave me a message after the beep, or hi, it's Bob, this, that, and the other. It was a different voice that said, he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. Psalm 91:11. And there was no beep where you could leave a message after. It was just that. It didn't say mailbox was full. It was just that message. And I thought, okay, cool. Let's roll with it. I mean, strange things happen in my life quite frequently, working with spirit and loved ones in spirit and guides and all of that. So I could roll with the punches a little bit, but this one was kind of weird. And I wanted to make sure I heard it right. So I called it back again. And I thought, well, maybe this time they'll see. Because sometimes, if you're watching your phone and somebody keeps calling, eventually you pick up. Didn't happen. Got the same message again. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. Psalm 91:11. No beep. No leave a message. No thanks for calling, just that. So I started to defrost a little bit from my seized up fear. And I thought, okay, well, hi, angels. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know you're with me in this really bumpy period of time in my life. But could we not do it in such a freaky way? Maybe, because you've scared me. And then over the next couple of days, I would ask friends to call the same number and they wouldn't get the message. It would just ring and ring and ring and ring. And then I would call back and I would always get that message with Psalm 91:11. Alongside that, for the next couple of months at least, I kept seeing 91:11 everywhere. I would see it on billboards. I would see it on cash registers. I would get $9.11 in change from something. And it happened so often when I wasn't trying to do anything. Then I thought, okay, I'll play along. Let me try to do some stuff too. So I would go to a library or I would go to a bookstore and I would pick a random book, not a book on angels, not a book on anything, just a random book. And I would feel a different warmth of where I needed to open the book, and it would either be something about angels, it would have the number 91:11, and it might not be Psalm 91:11. It might be, you know how they have sometimes with charts or graphs, they'll say this is graph number 9.1.111 or whatever. It would be that. There would be something connected to that psalm, to angels, to the number, whenever I would touch something. It was really kind of fun, but really also kind of strange because I didn't know why that was happening. And I would have friends and family members witness me doing this, or challenge me, hey, here's a book, do this. And so it kept happening and happening and happening. And eventually it faded from that, except every so often when I'm going through something, like one of my dogs passed away a number of years ago, and I was calling a friend to let her know. And she was on her laptop just playing around while we were talking, and she said she didn't know this story about the 91:11. We weren't friends at that time. And she was just playing around on her laptop and said, hey, I don't know what this is, Heather, but it feels like it's for you. My whole screen just kind of like an ad popped up or something, but it's not a normal ad. It's Psalm 91:11. And so that was, in that instance, a message from my angels. Hey, we've got your dog. He's here with us. So that's part of my angel story. And years later now, they are part of the guides, the team of guides that I channel. I bring them through often. I see them around other people all the time when I'm doing spirit guide appointments and art. And it's just so delightful. And I wanted to share that story with you because I know so many of you are having maybe not specifically 91:11, but you're starting to see what many people categorize as angel numbers. And they may be from the angelic realm specifically. They may be your spirit guides. But I just wanted you to know you're not alone in seeing that and not really understanding what it is. And I would encourage you to go into this space of play with it and really feel into it. Those numbers, I think, from my perspective, are going to mean something different for everybody. So mainly they are getting your attention for you to dial in, for you to connect in with your team, your angels, and see what messages they have for you. So speaking of messages that angels have for all of us, let me share the channeling. It's a really short one, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be back at the end of the channeling with a little bit more. So I'll see you in a bit. Hello, bright and beautiful beings. We would speak to you today on the topic of belief. For many of you are in a time where you are forging new beliefs and you are shedding old beliefs. So we would love to share how we see belief. When you believe in something, you cause it to be alive. You breathe life into it. It is a beautiful thing in your world, for it allows you to make real those things that others may deem imaginary or unfocused. When you put your belief upon something, you sharpen its edges, you allow it to step forward into your third dimensional space. And although it may be something that is of another dimension, you allow it to get legs, you allow it to be planted, you allow it to grow here in your world at this time. Often you will see others feel that or say that you need to see it. Seeing is believing. It is quite the opposite. Believing causes the seeing. Have you ever been in a space or a conversation with someone where you can clearly advocate for your perspective and they simply cannot see it? It is because they do not believe. Belief is not a matter of numbers. You do not need a certain quantity of individuals to believe in something in order for it to be real. You and your belief make it real. In that regard, may it give you comfort when others do not believe what you believe, for it does not make your belief less true, less valid, have less gravity, nor does it make their belief wrong. Everyone has their own ability to be divine creators and breathe life into that which they believe. If you look at this from the perspective of beliefs about yourself, what have you made real? What have you breathed into life by believing it? Is it a limitation? Is it an ability? Is it a superpower in that way? What have you breathed into existence for yourself? In this time, we feel many of you are gloriously shedding those beliefs of limitation, both for you as an individual and for your world as a collective. Continue to believe in what is possible. Continue to believe in what you wish to see, not only what you are seeing manifested in your world. For you are the creators. You hold the paintbrush. You decide the colors. What would you breathe life in today? What do you believe? Be blessed, dearest friends. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that really short message. I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, but I was up at 3:33 this morning, coincidentally or not, with the little nudge to bring that through today. So I hope you liked it. I also hope that you like what I am about to share. So angels were knocking on my door over the summer to connect in a different way for art. And I didn't know what it was. And that's another thing I want to share. Sometimes when you get a message from guides, from spirit, from angels, from your higher self, however you classify it, from your intuition, it doesn't always come with the instruction manual. It doesn't always come with, what does that message mean? Sometimes it takes a little time to dissolve and for you to connect in with it and understand what it means. So I kept having this nudge to do art, which I do every day. But this was try something different, try this, and it was a different medium that I truly typically use. It was different colors, different paper, even all these things I had to gather and assemble and teach myself how to do. And it started feeling like, oh, this is how my energetic signature portrait started. I didn't know anything about doing digital art. I had to learn all of that. I had to learn how to use the different tools that go with that process. So I thought, oh, we're bringing something else through. That's great. I would love to know what it is, but hey, I just work here. So you let me know when it's time. And they did. And the guidance is for me to work on this beautiful sacred project of painting 1,000 angels, not all at once in one painting, not all at once in 1 month, 1 year, whatever, however long it takes. Painting 1,000 angels and offering them up because people are connecting with them in different ways. So right now, I mean, they likely will evolve as we go through this. I'm really early on in this process because this isn't like stop everything else you're doing and paint 1,000 angels. It's work it in to your daily routine. But I wanted to share some of them today, and I'll put a link in the description box below. They are physical art that you can purchase. I also, in addition to the originals you'll see, I'm offering them as prints, and sometimes I'm sending them as gifts. Other people have sent them as gifts, and people are really loving them. So I hope you do too. And if you feel called to welcome one into your home or to give one as a gift, like I said, I'll put that link in the description box below. Some of them are, I'm going to hold it up. I don't know if the camera will catch the glare or how it will look, but all the ones you're going to see today are 5 inches by 7 inches. And I hope it's picking up on camera. You can see we do some fun stuff with, I feel creepy looking out over here. We do some fun stuff with the colors, with the skies. And each one has its own prayer kind of baked into it as I'm doing it. It's just this mindfulness practice for me as well. So when you purchase one of the originals, it comes with this mat around it. So it's 5 by 7 matted to 8 by 10, which makes it, I think, easier to frame. And as you can see, each one is unique and different. And just wanted to showcase a few of the examples. I kind of have them in all colors. And like I said, this will continue to evolve into whatever it needs to be. But they wanted to show up today and share their blessings, share this color, share their frequencies, all of that with you today. So thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you seeing angel numbers? Are you connecting with angels? Have you had maybe an example of angel, I want to say interference, but that sounds like football. I should throw a flag for that, for interference. But have you had angels working in your life? I would love to hear that in the comments below as well. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.